physios, I welcome you all to our channel Physio Vidyapit. Today we are going to study about the dosage of UV radiation. Okay, again it is a very important topic from Viva point of view. Okay, because subsequent questions are being asked from this particular topic, and it is a, we can say, very not a difficult, we can say it is a typical type of topic. You need to know the actual thing, what is happening. Only then you can tackle the questions which are arising from this particular part. So my name is Vijay Kumar, and let's start the topic. Dosage. Okay, there are 5 main dosages. How many doses are there? There are 5 doses: E1, E2, E3, E4 and subarrhythmial dose. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5th is subarrhythmal dose. Okay, so there are 5 doses, and now you know the names of 5 doses. Simple. Now E1 dose. E1 dose is having different name. E1 is also called minimal rhythmal dose, also called minimal perceptible dose, also called minimal phototoxic dose, also called minimal perceptible arrhythma. Also it is called test dose, because we are going to calculate this E1 only, and after calculating E1 you can calculate the rest of the 4 doses. Our main aim is to calculate E1, which is our test dose, and once E1 is calculated, other can be easily calculated, which is a simple line. Now E1 is equal to E1 dose. Simple. We need to calculate or learn how to calculate this dose. Now let us suppose that we are knowing what is E1, and how can you calculate the other dose. Subarrhythmal dose is 75% of E1. Whatever is our E1, we can find out it's 75%. It will become our subarrhythmal dose, and if we multiply it with 2.5, it will become E2. If we multiply it with 5, it will become E3, and if we multiply it with 10, it will become E4. And there is a 6th type, another dose, that is double E4. It is used in open wound. Both E4 and double E4 are used in open wound. E4 is E1 into 10, and double E4 is equal to 20 into E1. Okay, so this is how you can calculate other doses from E1. But how can we calculate the E1 dose? Now we will study about it. Calculation of test dose or E1. Technique to calculate the E1 dose is similar, whether you are using Therkiten tunnel, or you are using Cromere lamp, or using air cool lamp. Let me change the marker. You are using Therkiten tunnel or Cromere lamp or air cool lamp, but the distance and time can vary. Focus on this point. I will give you explanation of this point in few minutes. Distance and time can vary. Every lamp has its average E1 dose. Average E1 dose is given on the lamp, but it is meaningless to use that as the E1. Whatever lamp we are having, the average E1 value is given to us in the lamp, but we cannot directly use that average E1 value, but by using that value we can find the actual E1 value. Do you understand my point? I am saying that whatever type of lamp you are having, the average E1 value is given to you on the lamp. Okay, you can see it is, every lamp has its average E1 dose noted on it. It is noted on it, but it is meaningless to use that as E1. But using that as a reference, you can check what is the actual E1 dose, and how you need to check or calculate I will tell you, but you need to understand this basic. Okay, don't skip this part. Suitable area is used for calculating the test dose: air cool lamp, Cromere lamp, and third is Therkiten tunnel. Okay, now for air cool lamp, we use the flexor aspect of forearm. This flexor aspect of forearm. Why this area? because it is we can say easily inspectable. Okay, we can watch and check how and when the erythema come on the particular part. For Cromere lamp, it can be placed in contact or at 10 centimeter. While for Therkett tunnel, we are using the abdomen area. We are using the abdomen area now. And here we are taking, it is an average value. We are taking 2 into 2 centimeter area, and here 4 into 4 centimeter area, and here it can either be at 10 centimeter distance, or when it is placed in contact, it covers 0.25 into 0.25 centimeter area. Okay, so this is about the we can say area. Now I have written that distance and time can vary. Yes, this is placed at 50 centimeter. This is also placed at 50 centimeter, but this is at 10 centimeter or in contact. So distance is variable. Have you understand? Though air cool and Therkett tunnel have same area, same distance, and Cromere is in contact or at 10 centimeter. Now distance and time is variable. Now I will focus on the time. Air cool, even response is produced in 30 to 90 seconds. Okay, here it requires 4 to 5 minutes. So hence proved the time and distance is variable depending upon the particular lamp which we are using. Now let us take an example. Okay, I have a air cool lamp whose average E1 is given, that is 60 seconds at 50 centimeter. If I place this air cool lamp at 50 centimeter from the point of application, E1 dose is 60 seconds. This is average. Now we will use this value and find out the actual value. To find the test dose, we use 3 to 5 holes are cut on a paper or lint. You can either use a paper or a lint which is placed on the area of skin, and rest of the patient body is covered. Area of skin. Okay, air cool lamp we use the flexor aspect of forearm. So definitely you will use this area. I am the patient only. Okay, I am the patient for you. Okay, so this is the area at which you will calculate the dose. Okay, holes should be of different shape and size. Okay, now I am having a paper for you. Okay, you can see this is the paper that I have cut for you. I will place it on the forearm and explain you everything. Hole should be of different shape and size. Yes, this is oval, this is triangle, and this is square. Okay, now central hole is exposed to the estimated value. See, central hole is exposed to the average estimated value. This is our central hole. Yes, it is exposed to the estimated value. Now you can see I have written this is the central part, yes, which is triangle shape, simple, and here we are applying estimated dose. What is the estimated or the average dose? It is 60 seconds. Yes. Now move on the next slide. One side is exposed to higher value while other is exposed to the lower value. Again it is very simple. So this is one side, this is other side. One side is exposed to higher dose, and I have written 90 seconds here, and other is at lower dose, that is at 30 seconds. So do you understand that how are we going to use this to calculate the dose? At center you are going to apply the average or the estimated E1 value, while at one side at higher dose, at other side lower dose. Okay, the shapes are different to we can say to find out that which particular dose was effective, because patient can remember that square was on the distal part of my forearm. Okay, so that we can have a differentiate. Now what we will do now, our goal is to, what is our goal? Our goal is to expose this part for 90 seconds, this part for 60 seconds, and this part for 30 seconds. So now what I will do, I will make the patient sit on in a comfortable position. Its other body parts are covered while this part is exposed. I will check whether he has taken any kind of drug such as Soraline or antibiotic or even any drug. I will check all that and clean the area of skin because there are ointments which are applied by individuals. So after all that, what I will do, I will switch on the lamp, and some lamps require the warm up period. We will give warm up, while other do not require. We can directly apply. Now I will first of all remove this part. I will apply 30 seconds to it. Focus on my words. Focus on my words. I am going to apply 30 second UV radiation on this part. After 30 seconds, I will remove this part also. Again, I am going to apply 30 second UVR. So here till now is applied. We have given 30 seconds, but here it become 60 seconds because this is also exposed now. First of all, these 2 and 3 were covered. Only this was given 30 seconds, and then I removed this part also, and again I gave 30 seconds. So this received total 60 and this received total 30 seconds. And when I remove this part, again I will give 30 seconds. This will be at 60 seconds and this will be at 90 seconds. Now you can check all the doses given. After all this, patient is given a chart which has same shapes drawn on it. You can see. After exposure of the UV radiation, patient is given a card with similar holes, and he or she is instructed to note or record when erythema appear and how severe was it, and for how much time the erythema last. And now you will say, sir, what is the minimal erythema dose or the even dose? The shape on the skin at which erythema last and this erythema appear at last and disappear at first. Erythema appeared at last and disappear at first is the minimal erythemal dose. So when patient will come you on the next day, you will ask him or her that at which of the following shape, either oval, triangle or square, the erythema appeared or the redness appeared, because he will be a layman. The redness appear at last. Erythema appear at last and disappear at first. That will be our minimal erythemal dose. Okay. So average was 60 seconds. It will be usually this only. But in some individuals, the dose can also be at 30 seconds and 90 seconds. 90 seconds could be in those conditions in which the patient are having a thick skin. Okay, thick skin, so the dose can exceed. While if the skin is quite sensitive, the minimal erythemal dose will be 30 seconds. Okay, though our average was 60. Okay, more probably it will be 60. Our dose which we are calculating, it will be 60. But we need to check now, because we don't know that the patient is having a thick skin or he is sensitive or not. If he will be sensitive, dose will be reduced, and if the skin is thick, the dose will be increased. So this is the significance. So we are in simple, but we are going to check that whether this dose is same to the individual or not. Okay, so this is the main thing, how we calculate or the test dose. This is the main thing, and we have now calculated the even dose. You can calculate any of the dose which you want and apply on the individual for the therapeutic effects. Why? Because if we will calculate the accurate dose, we will be achieving a good therapeutic effect in the individual, and the condition will be corrected. Okay, so now we will focus or move toward the progression. How we will do the progression in the UV radiation. Okay, now we will study about the progression of the UV radiation dosage. Okay, progression of dosage. And exposure to the UVR should not be repeated until the erythema caused by previous irradiation is, we can say, lost or faded. Once we applied UVR to a patient, we cannot apply the UVR again until the erythema due to previous application has gone. thickening of epidermis. So if anybody asks you that what is the cause of progression in UV radiation, it is the thickening of epidermis which make it necessary to increase the dosage. For subarrhythmal dosage, which is our E0 dose, we can increase by or progress by 12.5% or 10% or 15%. Any of the value can use. For E1 25%, E2 50%, E3 75% of previous dose we are going to increase. So okay, so it is given like that. E1 dose is progressed by 25. So what was the previous dose plus 25% of that? So here also previous dose plus 75% and 55. Okay, so plus previous dose. Okay, and it is quite understood. Okay, so previous dose plus this, previous dose plus this and this. And in E4, you know, as the UV is applied to the open wound and there is no skin thickening, so no progression is needed. And then it is the selection of dosage level. Okay, dosage level means that subarrhythmal dose can be applied to the whole body. E1 can be applied to whole or half of the body. Then E2 is applied to the area less than 20% of total body area. E3 is less than 250 centimeter square and E4 is less than 25 centimeter square. So it is the area at which we are going to apply a particular dose. Okay, E4 is for only less than 25 centimeter square and subarrhythmal is for whole body. Similarly, now the frequency of dosage. Here you can see E0 subarrhythmal dose, it can be given daily. Now E1 dose, if it is given on whole body, we are going to apply it on alternate day. If half body, we are going to give daily. Simple. And E2 twice a week. Then E3 is 2 weeks apart and E4 as only very local and not given frequently. Okay, it is not given frequently. Why? Because only open wounds are treated, so there is, we can say, no need of giving it very frequently. Okay, because even when we apply the UV radiation, it is sufficient to sufficient to initiate the granulation tissue formation and help in the repair as well as growth. Okay, so this is about the frequency of dosage. Now, to irradiate the smaller areas, for example, we are treating an individual and now we want to, we can say, particularly focus on a small area. Then we need to move the source close to it. To irradiate the smaller area, lamp is moved close to the patient, but here time of exposure must be altered. Why? To make the to maintain the same intensity. Okay, as we now want to focus on a particular small region where we want to apply the UV radiation, so we will move the lamp close to it. Now, as we are moving the lamp close, the time must be reduced to maintain the intensity. So, new time can be calculated as old time into new distance square upon old distance square. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate the new timing when we are going to reposition the UV lamp. So this is whole about the dosage and the progression of UV radiation. Okay, so this is whole about the dosage and progression of UV radiation. With this, we complete the UV radiation topic and we will meet with another topic very soon. Till then, you all keep on studying. Thank you to one and all.